4, 3.
Together with friends along the way, united with strength to face the day. We're together and now we're here to say, united we will be the change.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday at 5-ish, and we are here back with a Above and Beyond the Accessibility and Inclusion podcast for June the 12th. Yes, it is June the 12th. Maddie, how are you?
I am sweltering in the room that I'm in. Okay, so we know that summer's coming. I can feel it because we're getting more warm days that aren't excruciatingly hot. But the humidity, the humanity of the humidity. Yeah, the rest of my place is in air conditioned. But if I want to block off all possible sounds, my room is a sauna. So yeah, I'm here. But if you see the occasional bead of sweat going down my eye that I missed, that would be the explanation as to why. And that's your weather report.
We made it through another week, friend. How was the week for you?
Oh, challenging for me. I think I mentioned last week that I was in a small little car accident the week before, and it's been increasingly challenging and painful with my good leg. Now it's not my good leg anymore. So just try to manage that, and some of the ways I've been able to get around. Occasionally, I have to use a manual wheelchair in a small area. I can deal with that because I can't use my hands to maneuver, but I can use my feet to sort of shuffle around like Barney and Fred from the Flintstones. But that requires the use of both feet, and I don't have that right now. So it's challenging. I when you've got long-term disabilities and you've got pain from them, you sort of get used to a particular threshold of pain. It's like that's just your baseline, and you get to the point where it's hard, but you know what it is, and that's where you move from. But when you get new things, they are harder. They make it harder to keep going because they sort of throw you. They may be contained to one area, but they throw your whole pain equilibrium out of sorts, and it becomes harder to push through things that you would normally be able to do. And it's not because of the finite acute pain, but just that you've gone over your pain threshold. And I was realizing that yesterday as I was highly emotional, somewhat irritable, which is not me. And it's like, okay, I'm being overwhelmed by pain. I just need a rest. I just need to disengage from people because I'm not handling things as well as I normally do. So this is pain that's beyond what I normally handle, and yeah, so it's been challenging, but I've been trying to think through this as I've been going at it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Maddie. I feel it too. I mean, I won't want to say that I necessarily feel it the same way you do, but I understand. Like, this weekend was an interesting weekend myself. Um, I ended up watching the Cat game at a local bar. First regular season game, we lost. We're just going to leave it at that because I don't want to get into any more problems with the Cats losing. So they lost on Friday night. We ended up having a street festival in Hamilton on Saturday, Concession Street Festival, which was a great event. So many people showed up. Had some friends there, met up with some friends, and then the inevitable happened. I haven't posted this yet, Maddie, because it's not something that I'm
You want to
proud
put
of.
necessarily into words?
Yeah, well, no,
Online?
I can certainly put it into words, but I'm pausing for dramatic effect.
Okay. Dun,
But
dun, dun.
so I actually took a tumble along the street fest towards the end of the event because the curb cut and the sidewalk didn't meet each other, and there was a divot. And yeah, front tire met divot, and I went down.
It was your divot end.
Yep. Yeah, I'm at my divot's end with all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I experienced that exact thing a year ago in Toronto, and with my daughter pushing me, and oh my God, was it bad? the the crossings not meeting the curb cuts are
Atrocious.
they're a failure completely. It's not just that it's not accessible. It's a failure for pedestrians, it's a failure for cars, it's a failure for everyone. They are so dangerous, and I don't understand why, like, how they got to be non-matched in the first place is a failure on every level, and it's something that like you've hit it, I've hit it. So many of the people that we know keep hitting them. Like even in my small town, there's a couple places where the roads have been redone in the last 5 years, but the curb cuts don't match, and it's it's uh it's scary when you first meet it,
Hmm.
but it's extremely aggravating when you have to account for it every time after that, because it's dangerous no matter what, but it's more dangerous the first time because like there's no way of knowing these things, these
Exactly.
freaking divots and these freaking curb cuts. And in the
Are
winter, if you happen, in the winter time, if you happen to use sidewalks in the winter, this is just like amplified because A, you can't even see them. B, you're dealing with snow and ice and hidden things.
uh-huh.
And wow, when you said that we'd have an interesting thing today, I imagined we'd have something, which is why I have the new it's rant and ramble time on our.
Aha. You know what? This wasn't even what I wanted to talk about. Like, this is
Okay.
just like this is the appetizer on when it comes to this. But see, here's the thing, Matty. It comes at you from two ends of the spectrum. A, Anthony, you just should just watch where you're going, and then it's like it's my fault that there's a problem there, right? And then
Yeah.
that makes things even worse. And then second of all, I go down, and it's one of those when you go down, you're going down so slow, and you know it's happening, and you know it's
Yeah.
happening, and you know it's happening. You're thinking,
Yeah, yeah.
oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then all of a sudden I'm going face first, but then I throw the hands out, and so to protect the moneymaker, you know how it is, and then I yeah, so my hands and my wrists took the brunt of it,
Ugh.
but needless to say, when you hear that type of comment where it's like, you should just watch where you're going,
Oh my God.
it's almost as if they're blaming
You
you.
know,
Deflection therapy.
yeah. I every time somebody says that to me, I want them to spend one day in my wheelchair. One day. And I swear they will realize how challenging it is to look out for things. The world is designed to be visible from 4 to 6 feet up, mostly 5 to 6 feet, but that's what it's all designed, for for cars to see things at a particular level, seeing people at the 4 to 6 feet level, for pedestrians to see things from the 4 to 6 feet level, and so it's not designed for us at the 2.5 to 3 feet level to see things, um, and so we miss those things. Okay, so
And
in your manual wheelchair, you are going slower.
mhm.
We in motorized wheelchairs, we're going between 5 and 10 kilometers an hour, and we don't see things until the last minute, and we usually because we've hit something. Oh, it's like I swear that when people say, just look harder, or you'd be more careful. Ooh, thunderstorm.
It's like
We
it's
may
it's
lose
like
power.
Jeez. We might be ending this podcast a little early, folks. But
No,
yeah,
I
no,
can
no.
always
See,
connect to it from my phone. You
yeah,
can
I
just keep
mean,
going. I'll just connect.
oh man. Okay, so I go down. Paramedics come.
Oh,
Um,
oh, wow. Okay.
paramedics are right there. They get me back in the chair.
Uh-huh.
Then it's like 30 seconds later, a city councilor walks by. Not related, not the city council for the ward that I was in, but a city councilor walks by. Congratulations, Anthony. You did very well in running for city council. It takes a lot of guts to do that, and I appreciated that. And oh yeah, by the way, I just fell within the last 30 seconds. I got immediate response from the office, and but yeah, needless to say, mind you, I was also with the good friends, one of which is a media reporter as well. So yeah, things are gonna get fixed, and then transit,
Yeah. Oh, oh,
transit.
oh. Okay. So,
Oh, it's hammer time, baby. Let's go. I I have made a decision that darts has this 15-minute window each way. 30 minutes to your negotiated pickup time. First of all, I didn't even know we negotiated anything. And negotiations is a two-way street. There's no negotiation. I want the time that I'm asking for. I negotiated nothing. Oh God. And and then they come outside of that negotiated pickup time. I made the decision. I am no longer investing, even though it's a small amount of money, $2.60 for a ride that comes out of that window. That's gargantuan as it is. I mean, you're almost treating us like a pizza. 30 minutes or it's free. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Come
but
on. Like, you know what?
that'd
That's
be
the
a
way I'm.
real slice. Come
What's that?
on. That'd be a real slice.
Right. It was a slice, I'll tell you. Oh my God.
They should
Okay,
change.
and
They should
then
change their name to Mario. So they can.
oh, there you go. And then on Sunday,
Dun dun dun.
late rides, but it was a hell of a day. We were at the High Cats autograph signing. Got to see all the
Yeah.
guys, see all the players, connect with them once again, wish them a good season. After the loss on Friday, you know what? Hey, we got another game on Sunday night. It's ready to go. Let's pick it up. It's only one game. It's yeah, ready to go on Sunday. Be ready to go Sunday, and we'll actually go into the game. It's only in Toronto, so it's only about a 45-minute way trip from
Yep.
Hamilton. So
Uh-huh.
I'm headed to the game, and then we got the home opener on the 23rd. Be there too.
Ah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. There's a few other things going on the docket. We'll talk about it, Maddie, as we get closer to the day. I know you surprised me with a couple things going on, but we'll debut those things later. But oh my God, you know what? I don't want these podcasts that you and I, Maddie, do to be all ranting all the time. You know what I mean?
I know. Like I
I
want to
really
talk about
don't.
I want to talk about some positive things.
I mean,
It has been a we can talk about some positives, like again we tend to talk about this often because like when you have such a one jurisdiction doing amazing things and all the rest sucking, you want to talk about the one jurisdiction as much as you can. So City of Toronto has been involving the two of us and many other disability advocates and organizations in looking at different projects that they can have a lens
lived
of
experience.
accessibility. Yeah, lived experience and a lens of accessibility right from the beginning.
Mhm.
And it's been great. We've had a few more communications from some of the workshops that we had attended and some of the meetings, and it's really great to see this. It's not just them saying, "Okay, we met and now we're going to do our thing." It's like, here's what we thought. Here's what we collected from what you're doing. Here's our next steps. Here's another survey for you to fill out. Like, we want to make sure that we're getting the lived experience, that the lived experience advice is going to match the outcome. And I'm telling you, I don't know about you, but I've never experienced something like this where we get continual feedback.
Yeah.
And it is going to make such a huge difference. And I really, really hope that we can get this to be duplicated by other places. Because again, really, it's all about attitude, and it's when you shift the attitude that we will find solutions. Then you're going to find solutions, and they're not going to be a huge cost. They may not be a cost at all. They may even save money. You know, just because we've done things like this so for so long. You think about how much different levels of government have had to pay out in terms of lawsuits because bad curb cuts.
Oh, just
Oh my!
you know what? You're right, Maddie. It's absolutely
Oh,
an incredible feeling to actually feel valued
yeah,
at our lived experience and providing solutions. And I'm about to say something, Maddie, and I say this with love and respect. Um, the city of Toronto has been great, and they've involving us, but is there not an advisory committee for persons with disabilities that Toronto have? It's interesting that they're going through outside organizations. I mean, I'm in Hamilton, you're in Ottawa or Carleton Place, that they're
yeah,
seeking our lived experience and our wisdom,
yeah,
and they're appreciating it and they're valuing it, and
yeah,
and even one of the people involved is the project manager for transportation.
mhm,
I
yeah,
feel valued and respected, and that my opinions matter, your opinions matter,
yeah, yeah,
and they are very thorough in the way they are, taking the information down, taking down the data,
yeah,
looking at a phase by phase approach into rectifying certain situations. And you're absolutely right. This has got to be the prototype for other jurisdictions going forward.
yeah,
It's breaking news. Um, Season 5 of Above and Beyond is coming to cable 14. Tapings beginning in September. We just wrapped up season 4, and this is the conversation, and this is the information that I want to bring to the limelight. You know,
yeah,
Valuing people with disabilities as assets rather than liabilities.
yeah,
I'm pissed off at the fact that you know locally that our opinions are of lesser value, or our opinions are only taken so far.
yeah. I'm beginning to wonder what the actual effect that um, lived experience and disability advisory committees are having in different municipalities. Um, I, if there was a change to AODA that I would love to see, is the requirement for these communities and the requirement for them to uh, have some weight and gravitas to the projects that municipalities are doing, um, and to require engaging of wider consultations for things, because even municipalities are losing a lot of power. The provincial government's been taking a lot of things away, and that's a problem. But they could make accessibility one of those lenses that they could add on to. I mean, it's really, honestly, the conservative type governments are always looking at cost savings, and they tend to not look at people savings. But honestly, when you do accessibility, you get both. And
Right.
we need to find a way to sit down with the minister of seniors and accessibility in Ontario and have a Raymond Show, I think his name is. I think we need to say, hey, all right, like the municipalities are having less power. You guys are getting, trying to streamline things so developers can just develop. Well, let's talk about in getting accessibility, getting inclusion, being part of the streamline as one of the check boxes that they need to do, because it's gonna save everybody time, effort, money. Um, it's a win-win-win for everybody. And I mean, the problem is, smaller municipalities say, well, they can't do accessibility because it costs too much. So like everything's like if we can do it, we'll do it. Like, yes, if you're trying to design really large, totally accessible parks, um, yeah, they do cost more money. But if you're talking about sidewalks, if you're talking about just making sure there are sidewalks to every place, um, how you design them is where how you design them is where you need to have advice, because once you design them, the cost of doing X or Y is very minimal. Once you do it and you replicate it, you're saving money, you're saving time, and you're meeting the needs of the people you're not expecting to use it. We say this all the time. Disability is the largest, fastest growing demographic, and it's the one that it doesn't it
It's
doesn't matter
undervalued.
what yeah it doesn't matter what other demographic you have. You could get a disability for some part of your life, and let's design things around when that may happen for you or your family, your friends, your relatives. At some point, they will they may all have a disability, they may have mobility issues, they may have struggles with hearing, they may have struggles with eyesight. Let's design things now for that probable future, and it's going to make everybody's improve today.
Yeah, and have us at the table
Yeah,
and listen to us, like the city of Toronto is doing, and
yeah,
and
and
and I had that exact same experience over the weekend too. I went to one of the little shops along Concession Street, and we talked about accessibility, and we talked about the buttons, but
yeah,
we talked, I can't afford it and all that stuff, and blah blah, and then, so
yeah.
you're gonna lose out on customers if you don't invest, as opposed to um, just lack of understanding of when you think of
Yeah.
accessibility in the computer. All right,
I apologize. I apologize. I'm a little distracted because the rain is coming down
rate's coming down
hard.
hard, eh?
Oh yeah,
Oh man, is that what that is? Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah. If you're hearing that, that's the rain hitting the
right,
ceiling, and I can hear it going through the walls or whatever.
like I don't know, Maddie. I just like we had the conversation, and just we'll see what comes of it. But
Yeah, yeah.
this was
But
prior
the
to the
process
call.
is
I will say that.
the process has been good, and it's and it gives us something positive to talk about every week. So are there any people, any things that are happening that we want to talk about, so that we can turn this into a positive second half of this podcast?
Well, let's do that, Maddie. I mean,
Yeah.
Above and Beyond continues tonight on Cable 14 and Cable14.com. I had President and CEO Kevin. There you go. Oh, this is the wrong one though, Maddie.
Oh, it's
This
the
is the
wrong
wrong.
one.
That's the wrong one. It starts on June. Today's June 12th. That one goes from June 5th to June 11th.
Okay, so yeah, well, anyways, right person, wrong
There you
times.
no
No,
no. We'll just
right
use
per
that. There you
this.
go. Kevin Collins joined me on Above and Beyond, and we air the final week with his episodes today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We had a great event at the Ticats, autograph signing. Presentations happening Wednesday. Presentation was supposed to happen tomorrow, but they're actually closed, so we can't do that tomorrow. I don't know what's going on my end. What's happening on your end, Fred?
A lot of work in committees, a lot of work in research, a lot of a lot of work in preparing to launch the parent coaching and autistic mentoring program that hopefully will launch by the end of this month, and that's exciting. That's going to be a real good opportunity for parents, especially parents who have autistic kids who are really struggling. They don't have the funding to have their kids in any kind of therapy right now, but this is an opportunity for them to be able to get coaching to sort of guide them through what they can do. Because I'm an autistic, I have 4 autistic kids. I'm both an autistic and a parent. An opportunity to sort of share what we've done, what we think, and relate it to what they're challenged with their children. So I'm excited about that, and have more details when that's ready. But that's a lot of background working on that, and a whole bunch of workshops and speaking stuff that's going to happen in the fall.
Yeah, and there's great.
I'm hoping for a very slow summer, so that I can do a bunch of things that I need to get ready for a really busy fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Fall's really when things kind of roll on. No pun intended. I want to give a shout out quickly to a good friend of mine. I'm not going to go into details, but they're taking the show on the road, and I couldn't be proud of this person. And more details to come when the time is right, when it's ready. But there is something very, very exciting happening in Hamilton, and it's a very rare occurrence that we see something of this nature coming. But like, I'm gonna keep you in suspense, Maddie. I'm gonna keep the viewers and listeners in suspense as well, because I can't really say anything. But I wanted to say that I'm so excited for this person, and just I can't wait for the fall.
Yeah.
Um, and when we tape the final episode of Above and Beyond for season 4 this week, it'll be beginning to air on Monday, June the 19th.
Yeah.
So it's exciting for
Okay.
that. And yeah, we got a football game on Sunday night. I'm not exactly happy that we got to go to Toronto on a Sunday night. We got to work the next day. Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Hamilton goes in and invades Toronto, invades the Argos, and we're going to come home with a victory. I'm going with my friend Red. Let's call her that, and it'll be fun. I know, Maddie, you said there's a lot of things going on your end, and I love the collaboration that you and I have. And
yes,
we're going to collaborate for International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Again, that's not till December, but we're going to do something. You and I, Maddie, most likely, Cable 14 will be involved as well. So we're looking forward to bringing that message out there. But we just completed National Accessibility Week. We had a few glitches with our lives, but we got through them. And that's the thing.
Yeah. There's one thing you forgot to talk about, what you did last week.
Uh-oh. Oh.
You forgot to mention this.
See, yeah, I forgot to mention that for a specific reason, because the show don't air till the 27th of June.
Well, you posted it on your Facebook, so I just took it from your
Okay,
Facebook,
fair enough.
Man.
Yes. I
okay,
was
there we go.
Hey, okay, fine. I was trying to be most outstanding community advocate, Cable 14 Impact Award. Catch June 27th at 8 p.m. on Cable 14 and cable14.com. And the more I see that, the more it pisses darts off. The more and you know what? It's comical. And hey, nice bracelet, by the way.
Yes.
That happened when we met up.
Yeah. I'm wearing it ever since.
I appreciate you. And it's interesting. I asked a specific question of one of the members of the transit team, and I was referred to reach out to the Freedom of Information to obtain this information. And
for FOI's sake.
You know, when you
All right,
refer somebody to
that's innuendo.
FOI, you know, for FOI sakes, exactly. But when you refer to somebody from F to FOI, that speaks volumes, right? Like
Yeah,
when you refer somebody to FOI,
I,
that's telling in and
I've
of itself.
I've experienced the same issue having to do an FOA to get information about my own cases. It's just like it's maddening. It's like
Uh-huh.
they're saying yes, that okay. If you go through this frustrating process and pay a little money, we'll give you this information. It's like a freaking extortion. I think it's a publicly mandated extortion scheme that really it attempts to get most people to drop things because of the time and money involved. But yeah,
Well, not only
and
that,
and,
not
and
only
then and then they give you redacted stuff, mixing it absolutely useless.
the time,
Yes,
well, the time, the money involved, and then the time it takes to obtain what you're looking for.
yeah, and then process it. Yeah,
Like you got the information. Well, I asked respectfully to obtain this information, and
yeah,
referred to the FOI, and it's why. Like why? Like I mean, aren't we supposed to cooperate with one another? Where's the transparency? And by the way, I like working with the city of Toronto because they actually work with us and they listen to us and they'll get us the information we need. I was thinking. I know it's like people with
oh,
disabilities are born, and we talk about this with Sherry as well, born into legislative poverty,
yeah,
and our challenges are above and beyond most. And
yeah,
when you exacerbate the challenges by putting even more walls or more barriers, what are you saying to the disability community? What are you saying to us? You're saying that we don't belong here, and that pisses me off. Like it's we're supposed to work together and help one another out. I mean, yes, I've said it here before, and I'll say it again. Yes, I do have a human rights claim ongoing. I do, but I had no other choice. Maddie, I went through a process. I spoke to the executive director. I spoke to their board of directors. Like right. Like I spoke to their executive director. I spoke to the board of directors. I went through 8 months of meetings with the director of transit. I think project manager of accessible transit at the time to provide a solution. I went over a year to try to avoid an avoid a human rights claim. Nobody wants to go through that.
yeah,
Like if we cooperate with each other, we listen to one another, that doesn't happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, again, it's the system thinking that they're that
Superior.
using them is a privilege, not a right. It's um that anything that they give you, you should just accept and say, "Wow, thank you."
Hmm.
And I mean, okay, to be honest, transit systems tend to think of that for every passenger, but
Yep.
they tend to think of it even more so when it comes to people with disabilities. Like the size of the budget, you know, to be able to meet the needs of people with disability at the same rate they meet things for your average passenger. They think it costs too much, so they their focus is on giving you the best they can instead of what you actually need. And again, and most of the time, it's they design systems without us So when they don't work because they didn't ask us, they didn't involve us, they're like, but we gave it to you. Like, you should just accept this.
You should be
Like,
grateful.
yes, the barrier is there to protect you.
Because you were a
I've
liability.
heard that. I have heard that. I'm paraphrasing it, but it's like the barriers, they're there to protect you because of your disabilities. Like, no, you've put a barrier that has made us more disabled. You monster.
Yeah,
Ah!
the barriers make us more disabled than
Oh,
it's as if our lives are being gate kept.
yes. I want berries, not barriers.
Put that as a banner.
I'm gonna do that right
Yeah, that's a good banner. I want right. It's something, Maddie, that it's the attitudes and the perceptions don't don't respect the realities of where we are, where we live, and what we live for.
Yeah.
I'd rather invest in solutions rather than
Yeah.
lawsuits.
Yeah. Just keep the
I
conversations
mean,
going. Just like invite us to the table,
yep.
keep us at the table, bring us back, when you want to do things. Like to be honest, I think we the issue that you have the same as the issues that we have out here in the Ottawa area. The issues we have with accessible taxis are the same. Like there is a real challenge because the the vehicles that serve us are expensive. They need drivers with particular skills, and from what I'm gathering here in
Not
Ottawa,
according to darts.
from what I'm
Did I
gathering
say
here
that
in
out
Ottawa,
loud?
that they're just they're not incentivizing drivers to drive these things. The insurance on these is more expensive. Like, everything costs more, but they're not getting compensated for the skills and whatnot that they need to be able to drive these vehicles. And so you tend to get more drivers for the accessible vehicles being sick or not taking shifts or just whatever. Like, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of drivers that just did some quiet quitting in the last 3 years during the pandemic,
Oh,
and we're
absolutely.
really struggling. Like, every other sector, we're having a difficulty with getting the correct staffing. But,
I,
like, why is that? Like, in every single place where you're struggling to get staff working, it's the environment. The working environment is number one reason, and the salary is part of that. And we don't pay the people that serve us appropriately, so they're finding places that their service is more attuned to
respected.
their pocketbook. Yeah, because, like, um, there's a lack of respect. There's a
Absolutely.
you've got management, you've got politicians, you've got unions, you've got and you've got drivers, and then you've got the damn vehicles, right? And then us as passengers, we're um
A dime a
we're the
dozen. Yeah,
pawns. We're the pawns in this war, um, of all of those things that I've just mentioned. There's so many different um, agendas. You know,
absolutely.
and their priority for all of these people should be the passenger. That really should be the number one. Passengers, safety and comfort should be the number one priority of the politicians overseeing it, the administrations running it, the unions supporting their drivers, and the drivers. But we're not seeing that,
No,
and,
no,
and because of the tug and play of all of those, we have just abysmal service. Like,
it
if
is.
I swear, if every single passenger experienced what we did, no one would ever go on a bus.
And you know what? And they pick and choose which complaints they listen to. I advise everybody who takes the Darts paratransit here in Hamilton to complain, to speak up. And they log the complaints as they say, but they only respond to certain ones. Because if they responded to all the complaints, at least here in Hamilton, it would just be
Yeah,
crazy. It's right now, Maddie. The problem within the Hamilton accessible transit system is the internal toxicity. People are trying to outmatch one another. People are trying to strong arm the clients. And
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again: one person with a disability is one person with a disability. And when we take the approach of strong arming and perception of cost, perception of health risk, we're doing more harm than good. If you can't get it right within your own environment, how are the clients going to feel? The clients are number one, as you said. The clients are number one. But one client with a disability is one client's disability. You've created. Thank you. And
That was supposed to be transparent. Well, yeah, it's a dart.
and what
Yeah.
and what
Just throwing.
you think? Yeah, right. Yeah. And when oh, I lost my train of thought here. Hang on. But
Choo
no,
choo.
when you come on, man.
I
Oh,
know.
and
I
no,
know.
I mean,
I know.
like when you try to advocate for the community and they lay it on you thick. Like, I mean, right now I'm not afraid to say it, Maddie. Like right now they are being very much they're lurking me. They're putting the cameras on me. They're making people sign confidentiality agreements on account of procedure, which I think it's kind of illegal to um, review a tape unless there's an incident report that accompanies it. I feel like our city's resources are being misused in accessible transit because they're trying to prove a point. And, they could be utilizing, resources elsewhere, like hiring more drivers, for example, putting more vehicles out on the road, accessible vehicles, not just taking the easy way out and trying to
It's a priority.
use me as a pawn.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, it's not about using us as pawns in your game. It's not. It's about us being valued for our lived experiences. And I've said this before. Like lived experience doesn't get the notoriety nor the respect that it deserves, and that's why Toronto has been so phenomenal to us because we're people to them. We're people, and we're giving our valued insights based on our lived experiences. Things about being proactive rather than reactive are respected. Understanding that when we encounter a certain situation, this is how we should respond.
Yeah.
All of that is being documented and respected.
Yeah.
By Toronto, and I'm grateful. But
so let's review again where you're going to be this week. So first of all,
we got the right one up. Okay, tonight, 8:30 p.m. Cable 14 and cable14.com. Thank you to Kevin Collins, President and CEO of Easter Seals, for joining me this month. We've got a new episode happening next Monday. It's gonna be another great episode with pharmacy. And what else am I doing this week? Oh, I've got a presentation on Wednesday, and that's pretty much it because we did our Facebook and
yeah.
So
all right,
we got that going on. How about you, Maddie?
This week, what am I doing
this week in the life of Maddy Dever?
Yeah, well, I'm involved. As I said before, I'm involved in a lot of projects, a lot of research. I'm getting things ready for. I'm helping out with the Autism Alliance of Canada is putting on a side meeting at the UN CPRD, the Convention of Persons with Rights with Disability event this Thursday. So we're going to be. We've got a panel of people, including several people with lived experience, talking about just the process of I forget the name of the thing. Anyways, we're running a thing there. I'll post it on all my things because I'm going to be just helping with some of the tech stuff. I'm not going to New York. I was hoping I would this time, but
is
Yeah. So that's
without
that's gonna be something fun.
without
And
question, Maddie. It is absolutely refreshing that lived experience, and not even the term lived experience is getting more and
yeah,
more mainstream
yeah,
notoriety. So
yeah. Two things today I forgot to mention is the first neurodivergent Pride Day, and next Monday is Autistic Pride Day, and so I will I'll definitely talk about a few things on next Monday, because I may actually have an announcement or two. That's the day I'm hoping to a lot of these things sort of pan out.
lovely.
All right,
And if
you
you
want to
want,
wrap things up? You want to wrap things up for us?
absolutely. You know what, guys? If you're listening to this podcast on a replay, reach out to us at above and beyond the podcast at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm at above and beyond Anthony Frisina on Facebook, at above beyond for you on Twitter, at Anthony underscore Frisina on Twitter, at AnthonyFrisina.ca. Maddie's at Matt J. Dever at AutisticRambler.com. And once again, this has been another interesting conversation. But I hope our conversations, uh, whether you're listening to us live or on the replay, really resonate with you, because allies are truly a part of what both Maddie and I do, and your allyship means the world to us, to creating a world that's more accessible and more inclusive, that everybody can enjoy with dignity and respect. So I just wanted to end off that. What else you got, Maddie?
I just want to say thanks, y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you next time.